think the internet as we know it, in terms of internet that's free to browse, is probably going to die, because only in a matter of time, if you're like AI bot can go search the web, those sites are going to want payment for having all of their data scraped, and stable coins could solve that. But it does feel like we're going to have a thing where, like, you don't just get to use the web for free. Everything is metered on the data that you're pulling.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that earlier, right? This idea that we've already seen traffic start to collapse because the bot search engines are just providing AI summaries to individual pages. How long are content providers like us, how long are they going to stand for that? I don't know.
We actually worked together with Coinbase and a couple of others on implementing something called X402. Now you're like, what is that? And Mark Andreessen talks about this. He has over the years. Back in the early days of the web, so it already exists as a protocol that is built into the way that every web server, every web browser, every client that interacts with the internet works. It's a protocol that's there. It uses the existing HTTP transport. And now you can actually say, hey, I'm hitting my piece of content or data, and I can challenge whoever's accessing it and say, to get to this, you need to pay me. And it can basically come back and say, you can pay me on a blockchain with a stablecoin. We're doing that with USDC. We're encouraging developers to do that. There's lots of third parties that are building layers for AI agents to use this. And so I think that's one example, but I think it gets to the heart of what you're saying.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is what the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, as you saw from that little clip that was played, AI will soon, or has the potential of ending or killing free internet as we know today, okay? So the way things are moving, okay, it looks to be as if AI is going to start to charge individuals, to use the services, okay? Because why? They're doing all of the AI, which is an acronym for artificial intelligence, is doing all the heavy lifting, okay? No longer do you need content creators when AI can do it, okay? ChatGPT, Google, Grok, okay? Just to name a few, all right? These organizations, or should I say entities, aren't going to continue to allow this free internet to go on any longer, okay? Now, I typed this in the Google bar. I says, does AI cause grid outages? And the AI overview came back and said, while AI itself does not directly cause grid outages, the explosive growth of AI-driven data centers is placing unprecedented strain on aging electrical grids. Now, just last night, there was an outage. I would say half of a well-traveled street, and right around the corner, they're building a new data center. I believe it's a tier 4 data center to house certain, information on the cloud for these AI. And it caused that whole street to go completely blackout. And I did a video of it. So the uptake of AI, its explosiveness, along with its ability to search things quickly, is going to strain the grid, and is going to contribute to blackouts, to more blackouts, okay? To the point where they're going to have to start charging people, because as it currently is right now, people are using the internet for free, you see? But now if we put a price on it, it's going to reduce the number of people that can use the internet. Therefore, outages won't be more frequent as this thing grows, okay? And we know eventually where they're going to take this at, okay? Because the guy was talking about stable coins and blockchain. And we know eventually they're going to put it on the RFID microchip. And in order for you to use the internet and anything relating to the internet, you're going to have that chip, that charagma, whether it be in your brain or in your hand. See? So this is where they're getting ready to take this next move to completely, have a blackout of some sort, where then they can come back online with the new internet, which now the people have to pay to participate in. Okay? So it says, significantly increasing the risk of power disruptions. The substantial and often erratic power demands of these facilities can overwhelm existing infrastructure, which was not designed for such energy-intensive use. Okay? So these older grids, they weren't designed for this AI. So now AI is in an uptake, because we're seeing all the deep fakes and it's like everything is going AI. And these grids weren't built for that. Or so they will have you to believe, so they can have that built-in excuse when they shut this thing down, man. Okay? The grids, they couldn't handle it, along with everybody else using electricity, along with the winters, people going to be turning on their heaters and things of that magnitude in their houses and their apartments and so on and so forth. All the stress on the grid, next thing you know, it's a blackout. Okay? On top of a famine, coupled with the swords, military. All right? So it says how AI contributes to grid instability. AI contributes to grid instability through several factors. Massive and growing power demand. Training and operating large AI models requires significant computational powerhouse in data centers, with projections indicating a potential doubling of global data center electricity consumption by 2030, driven primarily by AI. See, this is why they're trying to get this thing up and moving by 2030. They don't have that much time, okay? They got to do something dramatic, drastic, to allow them to rush this charagma, this microchip, into place where people have to take it in order to sustain themselves. So something major is coming. Abaratazah, Father will, all right? We just got to continue to do as we were commanded, okay? Buy the truth and sell it not, man. You better get it while you can, because it ain't going to be here for much longer, all right? This is time sensitive, all right? You're not going to have this internet for forever, all right? This internet was only designed so that the elect could wake up and receive this information pertinent before all hell breaks loose. And now that this thing has spread it to the four corners of the earth, it looks like everything is getting ready to break loose, okay? So get this truth while you can, because once they shut this thing down and they come back online with that new internet under the guidelines of now you have to get a stable coin or some type of digital ID, you know what's coming next. The charagma, okay? So get it while you can. Let's get a few scriptures, because the internet, the free internet, will soon end. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23 and verse 23. It reads, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. See? This is what you better be doing. You better be buying this truth while you can. All right? Because they finna get rid of this. Okay? The Lord is getting ready to bring this famine. All right? This internet is doing heavy lifting. This internet is doing the heavy lifting. All right? The unicorn. Okay? Now, once they put a tax on it like they do with everything else, You know everything is going digital. See? This truth isn't going to be on the internet forever. Okay? So you need to get it while you still can. Because once they shut this thing down by whatever means necessary, how they go about doing it, and then they come back online with the new and improved internet, with the digital ID, where you got to have a digital ID to sign on. It's got to be verified. They got to make sure you are who you are, whether you got to have a social security linked into it or something like that. Now things change, because now under this new regime, this new world order, they can hit you with a credit score, or they can hit you with something along the line of a credit score, where if you talk bad about your government, under this new world order, this beast system, you can be penalized. You can have your tokens or your credits or whatever form of money they're going to use withdraw from your account instantaneously. Okay? See? So this is very imperative that you get this information and run with it. Okay? So it says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. All right? These videos, these lessons, these camps, they're not going to be up on the internet once this thing goes down. They're going to scrub the internet from all the Hebrew Israelite videos. This is going to justify them in resetting everything. Oh yeah, we might as well just scrub all the internet of the Hebrew Israelite videos to get rid of the truth. But it's the Lord allowing them to do that. See? So you got to run with it, because this is time sensitive. Habakkuk 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Okay? So you got to run with this truth when you read it, man. All right? Because you ain't going to have, contrary to what you believe, the prophets of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai out here prophesying and giving you warning and putting up videos to tell you ahead of time what this devil's getting ready to do. All right? Eventually, he's just going to shut it down, man. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. See? We're telling you, man, this thing's finna take a turn, man, where this internet thing ain't going to be readily available along with the truth on it. So you need to get it while you can. You need to buy it right now while it's free, man. Because once they start selling it to you, and you got to sign up and you got to be verified and checked and go through all those measures, you already know where they're taking it to. Okay? This is Ezekiel, if I'm not mistaken, 3 and 26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. See? So the Lord's going to shut up the prophet's mouth, where we not going to be out here prophesying and giving you warnings anymore. All right? Because in the midst of the famine of the word, when you got civil unrest, when you got, chaotic and chaos rampant, running wild out there in the streets, you're not going to have the service of prophets out there prophesying. All right? That's our job. That's indicating that our job is finished, man. And then on top of the internet going down and coming back up, revised under the new and improved internet, well, now you have to have proper identity to use it. You ain't going to get this truth anymore, okay? It's going to be washed, scrubbed off the internet. Amos 8 and verse 11. This is Amos 8 and 11. It reads, behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. See? And once that famine is here, of hearing the words of Yahweh, and you can't get it anymore, then now you're open up and you're susceptible to judgments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, okay? Because now you don't have a hedge, all right? Now that mercy has been reeled in, and now judgment is going to go out, okay? And this is where we getting ready to take it to. This is where the Lord's getting ready to take it to, all right? Let's look into that word famine, and then we get ready to close out, okay? Try to make this as sweet as possible, short and sweet as possible. Famine.
Strong's H7458, Ra'av, Ra'av.
Let's see if the root word yields anything. So it says to, come on, Esau. Do what you got to do. I understand, if I knew my kingdom was in it too, I would be messing up people's lessons as well. So it says to be hungry, be voracious, to be hungry, to allow one to be hungry, allow to hunger. See, you're going to hunger for this truth, all right? Your belly, your mind is going to hunger for this truth. You're going to want to know what's going on. There's going to be, as it says, and I believe Isaiah 24, right around the 10th or 11th verse, there's going to be crying for wine in the street. See? You're going to want to know what's going on. You're going to hunger. You're going to want somebody to come and tell you what's exactly happening. And then there's no prophets, no servants. There's a famine, not of bread, not of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. How do we hear the words? Through his servants, the prophets. You see? Well, he's getting ready to seal them up, make their tongue stick to the roof of their mouth where they're not going to be a reprover anymore. As Habakkuk say, I will wait for him to see what I shall reprove. Guess what? You ain't going to have nobody out here telling you what's to come, what's happening, because it's going to be actually here. That vision will have been fulfilled. This vision we read in Amos 8 and 11. Let's read it again. This is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Almighty, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, so you ain't going to be hungry from bread, nor a thirst for water. You're not going to be, parched from not having water. It says, but of hearing the words. That's what you're going to hunger and thirst for hearing the words of Yahweh through his what? His servants, the prophets. All right, Amos 3 and what is that? 6 or 7? It says, Amos 3 and 7, surely the Lord Almighty will do nothing but reveal of his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So once he has removed them from off the streets and the internet, you're going to hunger. It's going to be a famine. You're going to thirst for knowing what's happening. And you're going to be given over to this devil. You're going to believe a lie because you rejected the truth. And he's going to tell you whatever and however, and you're going to have nothing else to do but to take it at his word, See? Because why? You turned your nose up at the prophets, the servants. You mocked them. You made light-hearted skits to try to be funny. See? But he who last laugh best. So the Lord's going to get the last laugh on 2/3 of our people in the other heathen nations. Okay? 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, if you're not understanding what's getting ready to come to this land, specifically America, to really set things off, you're not prepared, okay? You're not prepared for what's to come. If you're thinking that somehow this place is just going to continue to go on with not any type of interruptions or anything to shake this up, you're sadly mistaken. You're not sober. You're not vigilant, okay? You're living in a fantasy world, all right? You just want to get your Halloween off, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your New Year's, your Valentine's, and you want that cycle to continue to repeat. But no, the Lord's going to shake things up, man. All right? As it says in Amos 5, I despise your feast days. So the Lord's getting fed up, man. He's getting ready to shake things up. Al-Barathasov very soon, okay? And we're telling the people, the elect, that will take heed to, continue to be sober and vigilant. We ain't got too much time, the Lord finna start showing up. These prophecies finna start coming to pass. All right. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. See, he's already got his blueprint how he's going to do it. He just have to wait to, let it play out. Okay. Yeah, it's best to do it in the most inoperable, time of the seasons of the year. However he want to go about doing it. All right. The Lord already put the spirit on him to do it, man. Okay. And who can resist the will of the Father? No one. Okay. So, hey, take heed, hey, get right with the Lord, repent, turn back from your wicked ways, get intimate with the Lord, call on his name, get the names, his name and his only begotten son name, and do what's asking and required from you, or of you from the Lord. So when all hell breaks loose and you call on him, he'll answer you. Okay, because he doesn't answer the prayers of sinners. Okay. So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right. So with that being said, pray some moments edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.